Welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly, featuring the head coaches of Nicholls State University basketball, J.P. Piper and DoBee Plaisance. Today's program is presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, dedicated to patient-centered excellence. Colonel Basketball Weekly is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team.
Good afternoon and welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. The Nicholls men's and women's basketball teams both entered last weekend's action on fire. Unfortunately, life on the road in the Southland Conference can quickly cool a team off. Let's start with the men who traveled to Nacogdoches, Texas on Thursday night for a highly anticipated matchup with Stephen F. Austin. The Colonels entered on a 3-game winning streak, firmly establishing themselves as the upstarts of the league with a 7-2 conference record. The Lumberjacks, meanwhile, had only lost twice all year and had yet to suffer a defeat in Southland play. They were gunning for their 29th consecutive home win. We go to the Johnson Coliseum, a place where the Colonels hadn't claimed a victory since 2001. SFA quickly extinguished Nicholls' hopes. Desmond Heyman lines up the three. He scored a dozen. The Jacks shot 63% in the first half. Dantrell Thomas and the Colonel offense, frustrated all night. Took a while for DT to get going. He scored all 17 of his points after halftime. Colonels were down big all game. Thomas walk-up for SFA, 17 points on 7 of 10 shooting. Tough to miss dunks like that. Nicholls performed much better in the second half, shooting 64%. Much better flow. Unfortunately, it was too late. Connor Brooks, 5 of 5 from the field for SFA, 11 points for him. The Jacks hit 8 bonus balls on the night. Dantrell Thomas kept fighting, 6 of 8 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line. Only played 24 minutes, though. SFA's lead never got below 29 points after halftime. Nikola Gajic here with a reverse layup. He scored a team-high 14, also had 4 steals. 8 Jacks scored 8 points or more, a very well-rounded effort. Amin Torres had a fine night off the bench for the Colonels, scoring 12 points with 3 assists and a steal. The point output was a season best for him. Big Jacob Parker having an outstanding year. He had 11 points, 5 boards, 3 helpers, and 2 steals in this one. Jeremy Smith winds up going for a team-high 18 for the Colonels. This one was over early, though, 93-64 Jacks. SFA clearly the dominant team in the Southland, and certainly so on their home floor. Their undefeated run continues. Nicholls would run into another hot team. Northwestern State, a preseason favorite and defending Southland champions, looked all but dead after a 1-4 start in league play. But the Demons had reeled off 5 straight wins heading into Saturday's matchup with the Colonels in Natchitoches. Let's take you to Prather Coliseum, where Nicholls stunned NSU last year. About 4 minutes in, Sam Macbeth runs it up the floor. Ball game tied at 8 as he knocks it down from the corner. He had 8 points. Nicholls held a brief lead a few moments later. Unfortunately, they wouldn't see it again. Northwestern State got 37 points from the most potent bench in the league. Sabree Thompson scored 8 points during a 2-minute stretch alone, and the Colonels would later tie it at 17 after falling behind. But the Demons go on a 7-0 run. Luke Doyle is off the mark here, and on the Marvin Frazier rebound, NSU is off and running. Jalen West with the oop to Zeke Woodley. Woodley scored 13, West with 9 helpers. The lead steadily built from there. Nicholls trying to keep it within reach heading toward halftime. Big 6'10" Liam Thomas running the floor. The freshman with 4 points, 3 block shots. Nicholls down 45-32 at the break. The Colonels fell behind by as many as 17, but they weren't going down without a fight. Jeremy Smith played this one here and strokes the bonus ball. His first bucket of the day, the deficit down to 10. Smith was limited to 8 points and 5 boards. He was playing sick in this one. A minute later, Shane Rillier sets up TJ Carpenter for the 3. It's off the mark, but Jadante Fry slams down the rebound. Fry with 8 points, 6 boards. Nicholls down only 6. But the Demons hold the Colonels without a point for a critical 4.5-minute stretch, and they pounce. Gary Stewart with the first of back-to-back threes. NSU pushed the lead out to 13 with under 8 to go. Credit the Colonels. A Jadante Fry layup with 3:30 left got Nicholls within 1 possession. That's as close, though, as they would come. The Demons would score the next 8 points. 86-73 is your score. Win number 6 in a row for NSU. Dantrell Thomas led Nicholls, tying a career high with 28 points. He notched 10 rebounds as well, his 3rd double-double in his last 5 games. Daquan Hicks for the Demons with a solid 24 minutes of action. Now we look at the updated Southland standings. Stephen F. Austin on a higher plane right now, still undefeated in league play and winners of 19 straight overall. Sam Houston State hanging on to the 2 spot. Northwestern State really making a charge. If the season ended now, Southeastern Louisiana would get the last ticket to Katy, Texas for the league tournament. Central Arkansas still very much in the hunt. Well, as the Colonels enter the backstretch of a road swing here, we spoke with head coach J.P. Piper about the team's big weekend ahead.
Well, we have a chance. We get 4 in a row on the road. We went out on these last 2 and struggled, but these 2, while they're road games, are close to home. They're day trips, so in some ways it's not like a true road swing in the Southland. We'll sleep in our own bed Thursday night, Friday night. But 2 very good teams. UNO's playing really well, won 4 of their last 5 on the road, which is just crazy. So they'll be back at UNO for the first time in 5 games, and I'm sure hungry to get a win against us since we beat them at our place in a close game. So it's not going to be easy. We've got to kind of not look in the rearview mirror, if you will, and really get focused on moving forward and try to have a sharp memory about what we just went through and prepare ourselves to go play a very good opponent, or we could find ourselves on the wrong end of that very quickly.
You mentioned UNO on a roll right now. Northwestern State came into that game winners of 4 or 5 in a row. Seems like you always catch your opponents at their hottest.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, I guess, but you know, you gotta play the games in front of you on your schedule, and no one cares if you're banged up or nicked up. And they didn't feel good about going on a 5-game road trip, and they managed to win 4 or 5 on the road. So you got to tip your hat to that accomplishment. Maybe they don't play well at home. Maybe they're a road team, so we can find a way to sneak in there and get them. But watching them on tape, they're better. They're defending better. They're scoring the ball well. They're playing with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. I'm sure the belief is high. So it will not be an easy game. But again, I like our team. I like what we're made of and who we are. I told the guys after practice Monday today that there's no disrespect in going on the road and losing to 2 of the teams that were picked to finish 1st and 2nd in the league in the preseason. So I know Northwestern didn't get off to a good start, but they've won 6 in a row. They're a good team, and they're a team that's used to winning. They're a February-March team. They went to the NCAA tournament last year. So to go in there and come up a little bit short, and I know the final score didn't indicate how close that game was. We had it to 3 in the last 4 minutes. So I still think we're okay. I didn't expect to go undefeated through the league. You look at our remaining games, there's some more wins in there. We could get to 10, 11, 12 wins in the league. That's a good year. Puts us in position to be in good shape in the conference tournament. So we still have a lot to play for, and we need to approach it that way in practice and go over there Thursday night and try to do something special.
Looking forward to it as always, Coach. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mike.
The head coach of the Colonels, J.P. Piper. Folks, we'll be right back with more here on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional in just a moment.
You may know Thibodaux Regional Medical Center is the only hospital in the region recognized by J.D. Power and Associates 9 times. But did you know they're the only hospital in the region to receive HealthGrade's Outstanding Patient Experience Award 6 times in a row? The only hospital in the region to receive 9 Summit Awards, and the only hospital in the state whose cancer program has received the Outstanding Achievement Award 3 times? Sam's mom, Liz Dietrich, knows. Families know. Thibodaux Regional Medical Center for expert, compassionate care.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's. You're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for. Every day we find a way to make your life better. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we're all about the people. We help you take care of yourself. That's what we do. We're here for you with people's health.
We welcome you back here to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Folks, the Nichols men's basketball team returns to the court this weekend. They'll visit New Orleans on Thursday. Tip time is set for 7:45. Then on Saturday, it's Nichols versus Southeastern Louisiana. Always a good one. That game is scheduled for 5 o'clock in Hammond. Both games air on the Colonel Sports Radio Network, presented by your local Super Chevy dealers, including our flagship station, ESPN 100.3 The Game, which can be heard in New Orleans, the River Region, and the Tri-Parishes. Al, the Nichols women's basketball team was on a nice little run heading into last week's road trip. Winners of 4 straight, the Colonels were on their way back up in the Southland Conference standings. On Thursday, they'd head to Nacogdoches, Texas to challenge the Lady Jacks of Stephen F. Austin, who had only lost twice on their home floor all year and were perfect there in conference play. This one was terrific. Nichols built an early 6-point edge before Callie Jarrell lays it in. She scored 8 for SFA. KK Babin follows with a mid-range jumper to put Nichols up 6 again. Colonels extended the advantage midway through the half before Antoinette Carter lays it in, the lead back to 5. Late first half, Nichols up double figures before SFA goes on a run. Taylor Ross knocks it down. Nichols led by 5 at the break. Plenty of lead changes. We wind up going overtime. Dalen Harris runs over Jenny Nash. The bucket puts the Lady Jacks up 66-65. Nash comes back, hits a 3 to put Nichols up, and then Ross with a lay-in to tie it at 68. So we go to a second overtime. Ross scored 13 in that one. No matter, Imani White, whose 3 sent it to overtime originally, knocks down this jumper with 8 seconds left in the second extra session. Nichols up 1. One last chance here for SFA, and Jasmine Scott comes up with a big block, swatting it away. That's your ball game. Nichols a winner in 2 overtimes. What a game for Imani White. She scored a career-high 30 points. The Colonels entered the week 25th in the nation in turnover margin. They helped their cause even further in this one. Portia Roberts led SFA with 16 points and 12 rebounds. Well, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Northwestern State made sure of that on Saturday. The Colonels just didn't have enough gas left in the tank, and the Lady Demons took full advantage. At Prather Coliseum in Natchitoches, Nichols fell behind 9-0. They were down 16 points in the first 9 minutes, and it got worse. A Trudy Armstead steal, one of 3 on the day for her, leads to points in transition. NSU shot 64% from the field in the first half, knocking down 9 3 balls. Janelle Perez drains one here. Perez with 14 points. Nichols down 38-20. The Red and Gray did have 3 double-figure scores, among them KK Babin. She breaks down her defender and hits the 18-footer. Babin with a team-high 13 to go with 6 helpers and a pair of steals. But in the closing seconds of the first half, the Lady Demons stretched the lead to 20. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Perez dishes to Chelsea Rogers for the 3. Rogers scored a game-high tying 18, all on 3-pointers. She went 6 of 10 from downtown. Nichols trailed by as many as 23 in the second half before going on an 8-0 run. Jenny Nash and John Marie Guillory play catch before Nash knocks down the 3. But Northwestern State counters with an 8-0 run of their own. Keisha Lee drives and dishes to Rogers, who connects again from beyond the arc. NSU went 10 of 20 from long distance. The lead is back over 20. About midway through the second, the ball worked to the wing to Rogers, then inside to Trudy Armstead. She scored a game-high tying 18 and was very efficient in only 24 minutes on the floor. Imani White still leading the Southland in scoring and steals, but she was never really able to get going in this one. A late 3, a part of her 12-point performance, her only make from downtown in 5 tries. Nichols' win streak coming to a screeching halt. The Colonels now 12-10 overall, 7-4 in league play after the loss here to the Lady Demons in Natchitoches. So we give you a look at the current Southland Conference standings. The top 4 teams, Central Arkansas, Lamar, Stephen F. Austin, and Nichols, are separated by just 2 games. And remember, Nichols holds a tiebreaker over UCA and SFA. Southeastern Louisiana and Sam Houston State both had a rough week, but are still very much in the hunt here for a spot in the conference tournament. Now, the Colonel women continue their road swing this weekend. You can listen to both games on the Colonel Sports Radio Network, presented by your local Super Chevy dealers. Nichols takes on New Orleans on Thursday at 5:30. Then it's on to Hammond for a matchup with their rivals, Southeastern Louisiana, on Saturday. Tip-off is for 2 o'clock in that one. KNSU 91.5 FM will carry both of those contests. Well, earlier, we chatted with women's head coach DoBee Plaisance and got her thoughts on the ups and downs of this past week.
Well, bittersweet. Bittersweet. We had an enormous game on Thursday, which, the kids rose well above the occasion, if you will. And on Saturday, it wasn't due to a lack of heart or even effort. Things just didn't fall our way. We needed some. We hung around for a long time, especially in the second half. I think we came back and we won the second half. It was just we dug such a big hole and just didn't have enough to take us out of it. But it's like I told the kids, events in life do not define you. It's how you respond to them. And I think we'll be just fine. I know we will be just fine. These kids are resilient. They're great, and I'm blessed to have them.
We knew looking at the schedule that this was going to be one of the toughest parts of the year. You still, even after a 1-1 week on the road, you find yourself tied for third place. Now you head to UNO and Southeastern, two teams you beat fairly handily on your home floor. So, everything being equal, you're doing okay right now.
Yeah, we're in good shape for the shape we're in. And, UNO, playing UNO over there, and I have a whole lot of respect for Coach Carter and what she's doing over there. And they are struggling a little bit, but it's Division I basketball. Anything can happen on any night, and they're playing at home. So, we're coming in this week, and in fact, even in going over the scout, I was sharing with Justin, I said, it's just not going to be that easy. I mean, we need to go in and do this and do that. And, definitely Southeastern, playing Southeastern at home. They've been playing well as of late, and that's going to be a tough match. And I agree with you. This is going to be a big weekend for us in terms of solidifying our standings and get us back on a roll.
We've seen throughout the year, and there's been no doubt on a game-by-game basis, you look to your big three, Amani White, KK Babb, and Jenny Nash. They've been providing points consistently. You're usually able to find a fourth or fifth score in those wins that you've had this year. Last week, it just wasn't there. Jasmine had 10 points on Thursday, but who are you looking to get back into the flow again here?
Well, Jasmine Scott definitely. We always say Jasmine Scott's our wild card or our X factor, because if the real Jasmine Scott shows up, we're in great shape. But I thought Marina Lilly did a great job, at least defensively. The stats are not showing it, but she's improving. And to answer your question directly, we're really hoping we can get more out of Shea Arnick. She's a fantastic young lady, and it's just the defensive side of the ball. She's struggling a little bit, and that's what's sort of not giving her the minutes that I'd like to see her have. But she recognizes that, and she's embracing that, and she's trying to get better every day. But if we can get some big games out of Shea Arnick, you watch, because the kid has some offensive skills.
We're able to see it in practice each and every day, and you look at it, and it amazes you sometimes how quick she is on her feet for being such a big player. Got to apply that to the game, though.
Absolutely, and hence, the defensive piece, and I'm defending her a little bit. We do run, and I wouldn't say a complicated system, but there's a little bit more to it than the average Joe. And so, not only mechanically or her skill set, you need to be mobile. There's a lot of sets and a lot of understanding, especially on that back row. So I'm defending her just a little bit. So it's more than just a physical. Need to get her back in shape, and she's not in the best shape, and she recognizes that, but she's working every day, doing extra work and everything like that. It's the whole package down there, but she's going to get it right.
What's the mindset of the team coming back here to practice this week?
I hope and I pray and I challenge them, and it was sort of, might be corny and maybe a little weird, but I challenged them after the game. I said, you need to leave with the same feeling today. This is after Saturday's game. That we did on Thursday's game, and meaning that you can't let a single event define you. We left with a great feeling, but that one game, we're still middle of the season. We have a lot to play. Here it is Saturday. We don't have such a great feeling, but it can't define us because they are a great team, and they're going to do some special things. And what you have to do is just take ownership of talking to them who you are, and that's what I challenge you to. Know who you are. Just know who you are. And what we did on Saturday wasn't exactly who we are, but at the end of the day, our body of work, we're still there.
All right, Coach, we wish you the best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you.
Thank you. The head coach of the Colonels, DoBee Plaisance, her club taking on UNO Thursday night, Southeastern Louisiana Saturday night, trying to get back into those top two spots and a shot at a double bye coming up in the league tournament in March. We'll be back with more coverage here on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, in just a moment.
Welcome back to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. It's time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week. You're either local or you're not. Louisiana's best can be found at your local Rouse's or at rouses.com. This week, it's junior women's tennis player Marie Aubert. The French native went undefeated, winning both of her singles matches in straight sets. She also teamed with Katarina Nakonechna for a pair of doubles wins. Our own Tiffany Williams has more on tennis and much more from a very active week around campus.
Throughout the department, Colonel teams begin their seasons with a mix of victories and defeats. While the softball club prepares to shake back from a tough start to the year this weekend, the women's tennis team gears up to keep their winning streak going. In men's sports, the baseball team began the year celebrating with alumni and Nichols supporters, while the football program prepares for another season by signing 24 new student athletes for 2014. The softball team fell short this weekend in Hammond at Southeastern's Lion Classic. The Colonels ended their round robin at 1-4. These ladies will return to the field this weekend in Denton, Texas for the Lovelace Invitational. Nichols is scheduled to play Northern Iowa, North Texas, and Southern. The Colonel women's tennis team came out victorious on Sunday, defeating Louisiana Monroe 5-2. Previously, Nichols beat Tulane in New Orleans 4-3 on Friday. Although these ladies won back-to-back matches, teamwork is something they still need to improve on in order to keep this momentum going.
I think we need to really focus on staying strong even when we're down, making sure we fight hard and get the results that we want.
Together, we're probably 80% there. We're not completely there. There's still a couple of players that still need to, get a little sharp with their game, and their fitness level needs to pick up a little bit. I think once we get there, we're not completely there. When all 8 of us or 7 of us are where we need to be, then then we're going to be a tough act to beat.
While the tennis season is in full swing, the Colonel baseball team opened up their season on Saturday with their annual first pitch banquet and Alumni Day. The Old Timers game consisted of 6 innings in which baseball alumni tried their luck against current Nichols players. After a day of fun on the field, the banquet was held at the Cypress Columns in Gray. The featured speaker for the banquet was former USC and Nichols football coach Ed Ogeron. His words spoke volumes, especially to the Nichols baseball team and staff.
He's done some really big things in his profession. He's been successful. Anytime my players can hear someone, talk about success, it's good. It's what we're building character, we're building young men. So that's really what I'm excited to hear. And just ultimately, if that guy just got up there and told stories about USC football and recruiting, I could have listened to that all night long. So I'm not very hard to please, but the little things that he did, and he said that Pete Carroll did. Pete Carroll just won a Super Bowl, so that those names matter to our players, and so they see what it takes for them to be successful, and they take a little bit out of it.
The men will face the University of Houston in a 3-game set beginning this Friday. The football team welcomed 24 new recruits during National Signing Day last Wednesday. This class consists of 22 high school players and 2 mid-year transfers. This is the highest number of signees for Charlie Stubbs during his career at Nichols. While initial recruiting is complete, finding new talent for the Colonels is still a consistent process.
It really never stops. We got some more. Our second phase will be when there might be another high school young man or 2 that we end up signing, but also we'll have transfers from FBS schools that we already have in the works right now that will be immediate difference makers for us at various positions. So we right now have probably 4 to 6 that will join us that way, but they won't come until May.
This week it is jam-packed with events for the Colonels as both the softball team and the baseball team head to Texas on Friday. The women's tennis team looks for another win on Saturday against Auburn in New Orleans. For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Tiffany Williams.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. Taking a look at what's going on around Nichols athletics this weekend. The track and field team competing at Iowa State beginning Friday. Also on Friday, the softball team starts that tournament at North Texas with matchups against Northern Iowa and UNT. Friday night, opening night for baseball. They'll visit Houston. On Saturday, softball takes on Southern and an opponent to be determined. Men's tennis competes in Monroe, Louisiana against Oral Roberts. Women's tennis takes on Auburn in New Orleans, and the baseball squad continues their set at Houston. On Sunday, we hope softball will play play in the title game of their tournament. Baseball finishes up against the Cougars. Then on Monday, golf opens a two-day event at the Rice Intercollegiate. Folks, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back and wrap things up here on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional in just a moment.
You may know Thibodaux Regional Medical Center is the only hospital in the region recognized by J.D. Power and Associates 9 times. But did you know they're the only hospital in the region to receive Health Grade's Outstanding Patient Experience Award 6 times in a row? The only hospital in the region to receive 9 Summit Awards, and the only hospital in the state whose cancer program has received the Outstanding Achievement Award 3 times? Sam's mom, Liz Dietrich, knows. Families know. Thibodaux Regional Medical Center for expert, compassionate care.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for. Every day we find a way to make your life better. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we're all about the people. We help you take care of yourself. That's what we do. We're here for you with people's health.
Folks, for more information on Colonel Athletics, check out our website, GoColonels.com. That's GEAUX, GoColonels.com. We also have plenty of information for you on our social media sites. Folks, that's going to do it for this week's program. We'll talk to you again coming up next Thursday.
Today's show has been presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, dedicated to patient-centered excellence. This show has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.